Welcome back to Joe's RC Corner. I want to thank you all for joining me today. We're back on the Super Chipmunk for part 12. And on part 12, I'm going to go over some of the things that I completed off camera, and then also we're going to start some new things. So stay tuned and we'll get right on this, okay? Okay, so welcome back, guys. So what we're going to do, so what I completed off camera is we glued the dorsal fin here on. We got the microballoons filler in here. I got some sanding to do here as well. And we also filled the location here where this thinner piece meets up with the vertical stabilizer. We also got the vertical stabilizer glued in place and all squared up. We also got the filler completed around the horizontal stabilizer and the plastic fuselage sides. On the last video, we installed the plastic fuselage sides and we put in the cap strips here along the top and the bottom to glue these two sides together. After I completed that part, I went ahead and made some micro balloons and polyester resin filler, and I made a fillet over the top of these to smooth in the spots here and also along where these were glued. So that's actually sticking really well. It seems to be flexing with the plastic very well, so that will keep that from cracking. But today we're going to go ahead and do some fiberglass work again. We have a little bit more fiberglass work to do. I'm going to do some finishing sanding here on these to get this all blended nicely in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of that fiberglass cloth and we're going to go ahead and fiberglass this and fiberglass that horizontal stabilizer. Because if you remember, guys, I haven't done that yet. I was waiting until everything was glued in place so that way I can fiberglass everything together on that tail section. So that way it makes it all look really nice and blended nicely together. We're also going to bring the fiberglass up a little bit on the vertical stabilizer as well to blend that all in. This part right here is all going to be fiberglass as well, so that way it's ready for paint, and that also is going to be blended. It's going to overlap ever so slightly onto the plastic here, and I'm thinking I'm still going to end up using some of the polyester resin, the water-based polyurethane to see how that works out. It may or may not stick well to this plastic, but we shall see how that all works. Stay tuned. I'll bring the camera a little bit different angle here, and we'll continue working on this aircraft. So thank you for joining me today, and let's get started. Okay, guys, so I'm going to be going ahead and getting some fiberglass, and we're going to do a little bit of sanding up here. So I'm going to turn this on its side here. I'm going to take these the control surfaces off here because we don't want to get those all messed up here. So we're going to take those off, pull the get all that off to the side, and I'm going to pull this tail around this way. I'm going to show you right here. I'm taking a little bit of the sandpaper. We're going to push this up a little higher, make it a little bit easier to work on here, like so. Off to the side. We're going to take some sandpaper, and right now I'm just using the 220, and we're just smoothing these areas out. And don't go by, when you're checking your work, when you're sanding, don't go by what you see. It's never going to look smooth when you just look at it. You need to feel it. So you do a little bit of sanding, blow off that dust, and then feel it. So right here, I can feel that there's a little bit more material on this side that I need to get off. So we'll go ahead and we'll sand that a little bit. All right, blow that off and you feel it again. Now that's more of the same. There's a little bit of bump there on that side. The rest of that all feels really nice. So I'm gonna go to this side here and take a look here. And then you feel it again. Check it again. A little bit of sanding. There's a little bit of a bump right here. That's better. Okay, I'm liking it. I think we're ready to put some fiberglass on this. Okay. Good. Okay, so we'll go ahead and flip her over. We're gonna do the bottom first. There we go. And we'll go ahead and do this side first for you guys so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to take this ledge, this corner here. I want to try to get this piece as flat as we can, or straight of a cut as we can. Okay, and the reason for that is that's going to go right up to here. I'm not going to go extremely high up on this. You see that? I'll try to zoom in on that a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I'll go grab my other camera. I'll be right back. All right, so what was a few seconds for me was basically instantaneous. I got my camera now. I'm going to take some quick shots of this up close so that you can see what I'm talking about on how lined up I am on this. Okay, so we got some of those shots there. Gotta turn that off so we don't waste battery. So that's lined up onto that. It's actually going right up onto the plastic just slightly, and that's been sanded quite a bit, so it should be fine. So the next thing I'm gonna need to get is my water-based poly. Close that up so it doesn't dry on us. And we're ready to start fiberglassing again, guys. We haven't done this in a little while, so it's gonna look nice. Got my brush. And we're gonna go ahead and start at this end because I want to get this stuck really well here first. And hopefully this sticks really well to that plastic there. And we're gonna start working our way out in the center here. We're going to cut that corner here. Right there, so that this piece will come down and stick really well around that corner. Just like so. Okay, we'll let that cure. I'm going to cover this up in the meantime. And we're going to start getting the other piece over on the other side cut and ready. Okay, so we finished the fiberglassing of the bottom of the horizontal stabilizer. We're going to go ahead and let that cure and then flip it over, sand those edges off and then get the bottom, the other side of it. So we'll get started on that here in a little bit. Okay, so we're back on this now, on the tail here section. The bottom is dry, and I've already trimmed the excess fiberglass that was hanging off the edges here. So that part's already done. So now we're ready to start doing the fiberglass along this top ledge here and over the top of the horizontal stabilizer. So first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that there's no excess dust like that. Make sure all of that is out of there. There we go, got the inside too. All right, so now that we know we've gotten all the excess dust off of this, we're ready to go ahead and put the fiberglass on this as well. So on the top side. So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go ahead and do the top of the stab here, and then I'm gonna work this section after, because I want that to all blend right into this piece back here on top of it. And because the airflow is flying over the aircraft in this direction, it won't have the tendency to pop up because all of it will be on top of it. Okay guys, so we finished the fiberglass in here on the tail sections. So now that we've completed the fiberglassing on this tail, we're going to let that finish curing overnight, and probably start looking at doing a little bit more with the hatch soon. So this is more or less ready to start doing the priming and some finishing sanding. But before we go, I do want to demonstrate how I'm going to go ahead and put some of these rivets back in place here. So I'm going to grab one of these little medicine droppers. Now, I'm going to try it with the really thin opening. I don't think that's going to work, but we're going to try that first. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this medicine dropper like this. I'm going to put a little bit of CA, medium CA in here. It's going to take a little bit up in here. Not sure if it's going to work very well with the thicker CA here, but we're going to give it a try. Okay, looks like we've got a little bit in there. So there's a spot right here that needs it, so I'm going to put a droplet right there. Put a droplet right there. Another one here. Another one here. Another one here. Another one here. One in the middle. So again, do the same thing. One here. And then there should be some along here. And these ones were bigger and spaced out a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and make a slightly bigger one there. We missed it a little bit with the kicker there. That'll make that accelerate the curing process of those rivets now. That'll look good. Just a little bit of mist. So now we can flip it over. We can get those rivets back in the top side here. Space that back a little bit, and what we're going to do the same thing here. So we need one right. So now you'll see here, I'm going to go ahead and pull that in a little bit closer here. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but you'll see there's now you can see the bumps for the rivets that used to be there. They're there again. So that fixes that. Go ahead and close that CA back up again. Now they have nice little bumps there. Now I'll probably take the sandpaper to it, light sandpaper, just to kind of knock them down just a little bit. Some of them are a little bit higher than others, but it'll blend them all in. And I'll probably end up doing the same thing around the canopy here. Once I glue it onto the plate, I'll probably put little rivets around here, just like on a real one, where the canopy glass would be riveted to this metal frame. So we'll work on that at a later date. Okay, everybody, so thank you again for joining me today on Joe's RC Corner. We definitely got a lot done on this aircraft. It is getting very close to priming paint. So let's just overview what we completed. So we got the stabs. The tail feathers are all fiberglass now, and they're all linked and blended into the fuselage, and into the vertical and the horizontal are now nicely blended as well. The dorsal fin is fiberglassed and blended into the plastic fuselage as well. In addition, we went ahead and added the rivets that I sanded off. We added those right back in using the medium super glue method. So I'll take some close-up shots. I'm not sure how well it'll come out, but I'll definitely try to get some of those shots of that so you can see it. Right now they're a little rough. I need to sand them and sand them back down just a little bit so they're nice and flush and round, you know, so they're smoother. But that puts those rivet lines back into the airframe, so it looks great. And I wanted to see how the aircraft looks all up on its wheels. So as you can see, I have plenty of prop clearance. Even when it comes up on step, there's still plenty of prop clearance there. So if we need to, we can go 1 inch bigger on the prop if we have to. Might get a little bit close there, but we'll see how this works out first. I taped the canopy on there temporarily so you can get an idea of how it's looking as well. I'm really happy with this kit. It's coming out very, very nice. I am looking forward to getting this aircraft in the air. So really the next step is we complete that hatch, we start laying down some primer on it, and then we can sand it and see where the high spots are that need to be sanded back down, because we want to make sure that this aircraft all the surface is very smooth, because we're going to be putting that gloss on there, and when we put that gloss on there, it's going to show every little imperfection in there. So we want to make sure that's as smooth as possible. I may also do the filler up here on the cowl as well, so that way it looks really nice and smooth across the top here. We got a little bit of finishing sand and some wet sanding to do on that, but we're getting close, guys, to that painting stage and the finishing. So with that, I want to thank you all for your support and for following me on both YouTube, on Facebook, and I want to keep bringing you guys more content. I got multiple builds still coming along the way, and as soon as this one is completed, and we'll go over some more builds. I have made some contacts to see if we can get some shorter builds and flight reviews. And I'm really looking forward to moving forward with doing some of that with you guys as well. So again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video. It's probably going to be about 2 weeks before I get another video posted. I have a work trip and also a vacation coming up with my family. So please bear with me. Hit that bell button so that way when I get back and I post the new video, you guys will be the first ones to know. So share the video, and I really appreciate your help, guys. Thank you, and keep building and keep flying.